what's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today we're unleashing the wubs when we get dressed to kill with Banshee's seductively sadistic Soprana skin. Now, to be completely honest with you, I've got some issues with this one, and it has nothing to do with her newfound lusciousness, because that is one of the best things she gained with the skin. While I actually think it looks a lot better than the last time it was previewed to us, I have to admit, if you're attempting to come up with a customization that makes the skin look good, frankly your options are extremely limited. However, if you have no issues with making her look absolutely crazy, then that is a piece of cake. Now, you can pick up the Soprana skin in the market for 165 plat. But, as always, there is more. If you're into some exclusive goodness, I'd suggest you take a look at the Banshee Soprana collection for 250 plat. It includes the exclusive Sonicor Cleona skin as well as the exclusive Banshee Soprana sigil. Now, while I'm not the biggest fan of the Sonicor, admittedly it looks absolutely amazing with some very eye-catching energy color placement. The Banshee Soprana sigil isn't half bad either, the energy flow looks damn good, and y'all know I can't hate on anything that pulses and throbs like that. So, if you like either one of those, I'd suggest you pick up the bundle as there is no other way to get your hands on them. Now, my biggest issue with the skin is creating variations that do not look terrible. Legitimately, her secondary and tertiary can't be changed too much from the original without instantly looking like something has gone very, very wrong. Her accent amounts to about 4 dots on the overall model, leaving you with only 2 colors that you can actually play around with. But, once you've given into that fact, it actually makes customizing the skin a breeze. Now, let's start with all the things you can't really change too much, beginning with her secondary. This governs the boots, helmet, headset, shoulder detail, and her gloved arm. After a lot of playing with this, I personally think it needs to stay pretty damn dark, and I mean basically black kinda dark. The finish on it is a bit high shine, reminiscent of plastic or pleather, which with lighter colors can make her look a bit like a child's toy or a really tacky hooker. Her tertiary color governs the details on her dress and headphones, her face, armband, and exposed thighs. Now for this I suggest using off-whites, as her facial details get completely lost if you attempt to go for a darker shade. And due to the fact that the selection is mask-like, picking something a bit more colorful just makes her face look like she's become ill. Now her accent tone dictates the small dot details that you'll find on the cables of her garters, as well as the small lines that would be the eyes on her faceplate. These details are so completely minor that you could pick almost anything. However, I'd suggest that it matches the temperature of the overall outfit. Or if you're feeling lazy, just use whatever color you're planning on using for energy. Now let's rewind to the good stuff and get to her primary. This dictates the color of her dress as well as a few details on her helmet. It's actually an interesting dual tone as the top portion becomes a deeper version of the color you selected, while the base of it is true to the shade. Now in typical Rob fashion, I'm gonna recommend gem tones. Whether they're a bit washed out or you go for something deep, they'll always look amazing. However, realistically, you can put on almost any shade in this lot and it'll look good. And last but not least is her energy color, which unlike most frames actually has a pretty significant influence over her look. This dictates several of the details on her dress, gloved arm, face, shoulder detail, and a few spots on her back. Again, this is one of the places you can add a bit more personality, just make sure that it looks right on her dress. Now for those of you who have been paying attention, several of the deluxe skins have also come with their own special energy color, and Banshee is no exception. At its base, it comes off as a mix of teal and this gorgeous yellow green. However, her sonar's weak spots are a brilliant gold. This tone also shows up during customization when you use her Soprana sigil. Now, with all that said, let's get dressed. So all in all, I actually ended up liking the skin more than I thought I would. I'm a big fan of the asymmetry on her dress and her gloved arm. The way the energy color was placed on this was also quite nice, making it more of a focal point than many of the other previous frames. However, I do have a few gripes. The detailing on the dress and headset are a bit much for me, and I almost wish that they were set on a separate color selector from her legs and faceplate, maybe coated onto the accent, so that we could have a bit more control over its visibility. And lastly, I think one of the biggest things that gets me is the fact that the back portion of her dress remains completely intact. I wish they had carried over the torn and shredded look over from the front, as I feel like it looks a little too pristine and symmetrical as compared to the rough edge of the rest of the skin. But setting my idiosyncrasies aside, I gotta admit, regardless of whether you're looking for some cock or some tail, this dress is the perfect fit for a screamer. So thank you all for watching another episode of Dressed to Kill. If you haven't caught it, be sure to check out my customization on Oberon's Feyarch skin. And if you're in the mood to see me sing our silent songstress's praises, check out my editorial on why everyone should learn to play Banshee solo. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay drop-dead gorgeous. Holy, what the fuck is going on with your neck? Holy shit, are you okay?